14 of his last 19 starts have been away from Houston, so I guess that'd be 15 of 20 now, including tonight. Astro pops it up, shallow right center, and dropped as Moore got a glove on it. Couldn't catch it. The wind playing some tricks with it, and Castro's at second. He'll be given a double on a ball that should have been caught. Altuve didn't measure it up too well, and Moore tried to bail him out.
I think Scott Moore is hurt. This ball's popped out into shallow right center, but when the wind gets a hold of it, it blows it away from Altuve towards Scott Moore. Boy, tried to make that tumbling catch. He's calling for it. Ball actually hit him on the left wrist, and then he awkwardly rolled over that left wrist and arm. Kicked that ball back toward the infield. Castro was able to advance to second base. And Scott Moore never got up off the turf out there in right field. Starlin Castro's lucky that ball was booted as far away from Scott Moore as it was. He wouldn't have made it to second base otherwise.
A little scraped up there on that left elbow.
Looking at his shoulder. Trainer trying to ascertain exactly what happened. Did you jam your elbow into the turf and feel it in your shoulder? Did you roll on the shoulder? What actually caused the injury itself? Where are you feeling it? Does it hurt when I do this? Boy, that ball hit him right smack on the wrist.
Yeah, it looked like he landed on his elbow, which probably really jammed his shoulder from the impact, and he's going to come out.
It's Nate Lucero, the head athletic trainer for the Houston Astros, walking Scott Moore off the field. That's not the way you want to end your season. Hopefully something very minor for Scotty Moore. A lot of options. J.D. Martinez, Brandon Barnes, Brian Bogasevic, Jordan Schaefer, Jimmy Paredes.
Maxwell's going to go to right. Brandon Barnes will come in and play center. If you want to wear what the Cubs are wearing, you can text plate to 88019 right now for your chance to win an authentic game-worn jersey from the Cubs. And be sure to go to Cubs.com/authentics for more authentic Cubs memorabilia. Barnes is ready. So is Luis Valbuena. Cubs have a base runner. Castro with the bloop double.
It's a good time to think about stealing third base if Starlin Castro can get a walking lead out there at second after some confusion, a delay in play. I'm sure Bud Norris and the Astros are anxious to get back underway here. Now's a good time to think about getting a walking lead and trying to steal third base.
On the outside corner.
That's the same thing for a suicide squeeze play. It's usually most effective when you catch the defense in a state of confusion. There's been a cutoff and relay play, or there's been a rundown play, and you find yourself with a runner at third base, and you got guys walking back to their positions, and drop that suicide squeeze on them first pitch.
Want to send out belated happy 39th birthday wishes to Aaron West, who turned 39 yesterday. Pitch. Short left. Martinez. Two outs, and here comes Wellington Castillo. In terms of the standings, nothing will change over the next 2 days in terms of these two clubs. In fact, the Rockies, Cubs, and Astros are all locked into their spots in the standings. Rockies 28th in the big leagues, the Cubs 29th, the Astros 30th. So if you reverse the order, the Astros will get the #1 pick next year. The Cubs will draft #2. Home run cut by Castillo, came up empty.
Yeah, obviously you like those higher draft picks, but you look at a guy like Bud Norris. You mentioned he played at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. His record his junior season was 8-6. His ERA was .455. But Dennis Twombly, the scout that signed him, apparently saw something that projected to be a good big league pitcher.
On the move, it's Barnes who just came into the game to end the inning. A one-out bloop double, no runs. After 2, Houston 2, Cubs nothing.
We fight fires together. We become a family. This family, everybody comes home.
Chicago Fire premieres October 10th on NBC5 Chicago.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
You want to find other bit, you want to find now 3 on this rare collection of baseball cards. I'm at 33. Other bit, you want to put other bit right there. Once again, all going to charity. Now 4. Begin 4. Now 5. Now 6. Now 7. I'm at 37. Other bit, you want to. Now you're gonna kick yourself if you don't go home with this box of baseball history. Now 8. Not all you know done. Sold it. 3,800 right there to that lucky gentleman.
Transfer funds from anywhere with mobile banking. Get started today at BMO Harris Bank.
225, 45, R17. That's right? Set, hunt.
At Yokohama, pioneering technology to produce the best performing tires in the world. It's all part of our game plan. Buy a set of Yokohama tires now through October 31st at any participating discount tire store and get a Chicago Bears Charles Tillman jersey for free. Visit yokohamatire.com for details.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field, third inning. It's great to have with us Cubs Vice President of Communications and Community Affairs, Julian Green, with us to talk about a great venture, and we actually talked with Kerry Wood about that on the last homestand. This has been a long time coming, but Kerry Wood Cubs Field, and it'll open up soon down Addison, right near Lane Tech.
And we're so excited about this project. Next week is the groundbreaking ceremony. Like you said, this has been years in the making. Kerry's been an amazing partner, his whole entire family, but we have a lot of partners involved with this. This is like a citywide public-private partnership that includes the Park District, the City of Chicago, DeVry University, Turner Construction, as well as Chicago Cubs and Chicago Cubs Charities. So we're very excited to get this new 1,100-seat stadium built here right in the city of Chicago for kids.
Yeah, and it was something that was definitely needed in the city. This is not just another ballpark. This is going to be the crown jewel in terms of, playing high school championship games and the like, correct?
That's correct. I mean, when you look around the city of Chicago and neighborhoods across the city, there are not too many ballparks that are that you can have city or state championships. So this is going to be a IHSA regulated field for the Chicago Park District, so that we can start having some of these state tournaments here in the city of Chicago. And I think that's good for competition. It's good for the kids to be motivated by, seeing students and high schools from all across the state. So we're very excited that, students from all over the city of Chicago will be able to get to use this park.
Julian, we should certainly add that while Kerry Wood's name will be on the park, he's not just lending his name. I know he's been very involved in this.
Kerry, during his seasons here with the Chicago Cubs, has been very generous, and he's has committed pledge money for this park, as well as the other partners I talked about. And so it's great when you have someone that's embraced the city like he has, and has really been really supportive of our efforts with Chicago Cubs charities. And when you have a partner like that, there's the opportunities are limitless. And so we're just so happy about his family getting involved in this.
Julian, for so many years, Wrigley Field had no lights. It was all daytime baseball. Are there going to be lights at the field?
There'll be lights at this 1,100 seat stadium, and it's going to be great. And folks, it'll have the Wrigley Field environment, so people feel like they're at the friendly confines. So we just can't wait to get this project started. I mean, this is also a testament to the Ricketts family. I mean, with Chicago Cubs charities, guys, since they bought the team, we've donated almost $4 million to neighborhoods across Chicago, from Inglewood to Humboldt Park. And when you look at some of our other fields, like California Park, where we have wheelchair softball, our field in Humboldt Park. I mean, we're trying to spread these baseball fields out in the community, because we believe baseball is really a great connector for kids in the community, to get them off the street, get them into something constructive. And we're really proud of this effort.
And the Cubs RBI teams always do well, and this is going to be adjacent to Lane Tech football stadium, so Addison and Rockwell, so I mean right up the street.
That's right. Speaking of the RBI Cubs, our RBI Cubs 18 and under team won back-to-back tournaments 2 weeks ago up in Rockford, Illinois. So we're proud. We got kids in baseball. They're learning, they're disciplined, and it's great. And I think when you get kids into baseball, it's going to be great.
So the groundbreaking ceremony will be a week from Thursday at 10 a.m. at Kerry Wood Cubs Field. 2-2 the count on Brandon Barnes. We're here in the third inning, and I am honored to be a part of a great luncheon every April as Barnes swings and misses, in which the Cubs hand out lots of checks to great charitable organizations, the Lakeview Pantry, the Runaway Switchboard, a lot of parks and recreation facilities, and the Cubs have always been a great neighbor to those great organizations, not only in the Wrigleyville neighborhood but also throughout the city of Chicago.
Well, listen, that's the great thing about the Chicago Cubs family. I mean, you've been there, you guys have been helpful, and you participate, and it's the wives, it's the players, it's the front office staff, the volunteer. You talked about the luncheon. We gave away $1.2 million this year at the luncheon, and so it's just important that we want everyone to know about the efforts here. We, again, thanks to the Ricketts family for really putting his arms out, stretching out to the community, and there's so much more that we can do. And I think Clark Park is just the tip of the iceberg. We got so much more. We're going to definitely do it in years to come.
1-2, and Fernando Martinez. Well, we savor these days, Julian. We're going to have snow on the ground here in a couple of months, but then we'll get ready for the Cubs convention and caravan, and it's set for the 2013 season. Called strike 3, and that will end the inning. Julian Green, Cubs Vice President of Communications and Community Affairs. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate the info.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me up here.
Thanks, Julian.
Okay. Take care.
Today's Business Travel Challenge, Departure Dash. The other airlines versus Southwest. These businessmen are making their way through the airport.
Slow going in security for that other airline's contestant.
Uh-oh, look at their boarding process.
What a mile!
No! But the Southwest contestant chose a business select fare. With fly-by security access and priority boarding, he's breezing through.
That other guy's going nowhere fast.
Be unstoppable with Business Select. Business travelers win with Southwest.
Wow, you guys have it easy. I wish I had U-verse when I was your age. In my day, we didn't have these fancy wireless receivers. If I had a sleepover, I couldn't just move the TV into the playroom. No, we had to watch movies in the den because that's where the TV outlet was. And if Dad was snoring on the couch, we muscled through it.
For real?
Your generation has it made.
the wireless receiver, only from AT&T Uverse. Get a free wireless receiver with a qualifying Uverse plan. Rethink possible.
How'd it go?
Crushed it.
You could win a new set of wheels in the Win a Dart sweepstakes from Comcast Sportsnet. Visit csnchicago.com to find your local Dodge dealer. Then stop by the dealership to fill out an entry form. Enter the Win a Dart sweepstakes today.
Time now for our Home Depot doing more on defense. Probably the catch of the year for the Chicago Cubs. Ended up putting Brett Jackson out of the lineup for a week. But an amazing grab. Total disregard for his safety as he went flying into the fence in Pittsburgh to rob Andrew McCutchen.
What a great catch. And watching it again, Len, the wherewithal that Brett Jackson had after crashing into the fence to squeeze the glove around that baseball one last time before he landed on the warning track, just to make sure it didn't come out.
Ahead on the count, 2-0. I think he went. He did.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before with Bud Norris on the mound. Just as he gets the signs, I think wearing the Astros uniform, it looks like Roger Clemens. That's how a Rocket, I would say, used to get his signs and may still get them.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the setup of the Rocket as he gets his sign from the catcher, starts into his delivery.
I think he's going to pitch next year in the big leagues.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he wants to. I'm not sure otherwise why he would have joined the what was it?
Skeeters.
Sugarland Skeeters.
The Skeeters, yeah.
I don't know why he would have done it otherwise. Jackson takes the leadoff walk.
It did afford him the opportunity to actually pitch to his son, you know, which is something he's long wanted to do, play on the field at the same time with his son. But well, I don't know. I mean, love him or hate him, whatever you think about the PED controversy, you would hate to think a pitcher like Roger Clemens would come back and you just get his brains beat in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I think, you know, he's enough of a competitor and he's a smart enough pitcher that he would learn how to pitch with less than his best stuff. But there's always a chance that he could come back and, you know, turn into a glorified batting practice pitcher. And I'm sure nobody wants it to end that way.
Paulstad gets down the bunt. And Castro will feed Altuve. That'll go 2-4 on the sacrifice.
Hey fans, next time you want to catch a Cubs game, head to StubHub where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit.
Both?
Both. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. For more information, visit Cubs.com/StubHub. Still waiting on a ruling on that one sentence right there in the middle of that read. Don't get it. Jesus had good career numbers against Bud Norris, even with that fly out in his first at bat of the game. He's now 5 for 10 lifetime against the Astros right-hander with a couple of home runs. And he hit that ball well the first time up. You recall he hit it just to the left to straightaway center, and the wind pushed it all the way over to left field, but hit that ball really hard.
Well, Adam Greenberg, the former Cub, did get his at bat, and he struck out. Was that against R.A. Dickey? It was.
Now Dickey was pitching tonight for the Mets. Yeah.
Miami leads the Mets 3-0 in the 7th. So he pinch hit, struck out, and then did not remain in the game.
There goes your career on base percentage.
Yeah, went down to 500. No, it's very interesting. I tell you that whole story, you are either absolutely for it or absolutely against it. There's no middle ground. A lot of passionate arguments on both sides.
Well, it's just fortunate for Adam Greenberg that it came down to the end of the season the way it did for both of those ball clubs. Had the Mets or the Marlins been in some kind of a potential playoff race, he wouldn't have been allowed that opportunity, I'm sure.
Couple of walks here in the inning.
Second baseman, number 15, Torrey.
So I guess it was a 3-pitch at bat. All strikes. Jackson caught between second and third. He's tagged out. Throw to second. The Jesus safe. Boy, this particular area has been a burr under Dale Swaim's saddle for the last several weeks. Well, early in the year, Bob, we saw the fruits of all the hard work in spring training, but I'm not sure what happened. We've seen some too many plays like this here over the last few weeks.
Yeah, that old cliche, just trying to do too much. Everybody wants to make the fantastic base running play or be so aggressive and put themselves in a position to score a big run, but you just got to run the bases with your head as much as you do with your feet.
Ground ball to third. And that's the inning. 2 walks, but no runs. After 3, 2-zip Houston.
Today is yours. Get the most out of it with Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever, and a 2012 IIHS top safety pick. Or Jeep Wrangler, with an all-new powertrain and improved fuel economy. Seize the day and a whole lot more with great deals at the Jeep Celebration event.
Aged cold, filtered cold, and chilled down to 34 degrees. We didn't invent cold. We bottled it. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Time out there, buddy.
Brian Urlacher?
That's me, here to defend you from DirecTV's so-called big deal. DirecTV raises your bill 100% after a year, and they lock you into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $2,500.
Can't afford that.
That's why your best play is Xfinity. The biggest plays on Sunday, live. The best of college football, and you can take the action wherever you go.
Hey, Brian.
No pixie dust, just pigskin. Yeah! Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call today.
Sundays, watch as CSN gives the fan on the street a chance to show off their sports knowledge and fill up their tank.
He got greedy.
Better luck next time.
Gas Money, presented by Honda. Sunday nights on Comcast Sportsnet. The fourth inning is brought to you by the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
And the Menards grounds crew will conduct the stretch tomorrow, as they always do in the final home date of the season.
I know they've been practicing too. I walked by the grounds crew room the other day and I hear them harmonizing in there. This could be one of the most fantastic 7th inning stretch performances ever.
Ball back our way, just beneath the booth. Well, going into action tonight, we'll set up the playoff scenarios. The Cardinals' magic number to win the second wild card down to 1. Dodgers won late last night. But barely stay alive, called strike 3. Dominguez is out. That's 3 straight strikeouts now for Volstad. Nationals clinched the East yesterday, tied with the Reds for the best National League record. If they finish tied, the Nats get the home field because they won the season series. Detroit won the Central in the American League last night. They're in the playoffs in back-to-back years for the first time since the mid-1930s. The Yankees won up on Baltimore with 2 left, trying for their 13th division crown in 17 years. And with Oakland's win last night, they're in the playoffs. The Angels and Rays are out, and the A's still could win the division. They're 1 back of Texas, and playing the Rangers with 2 to go, they have to win those final 2. And they're tied with Baltimore for the wild card lead, so it's still a little tricky in the American League. We don't have any finals just yet, but we'll keep you posted on all the big games. Can tell you the Yankees are trailing after blowing out the Red Sox. They're down 2-1 in the 6th inning, and Baltimore has a lead in the 7th at Tampa Bay 1-0 as that's floated into left for Brett Wallace. 1-out single. Time now for our AT&T mobility question. The other big issue or topic is, will Miguel Cabrera win the Triple Crown? Well, can you name the player who tied Carl Yastrzemski in homers this season? He won the Triple Crown, and we'll give you bonus points. I'll give you 7 bonus points to give you the home run total. Cabrera went into tonight 4 points ahead in the batting race. A 10 RBI lead, and leads by 1 home run, and he's 2 for 2 already tonight, with 2 knocked in tonight. What was it? Mike Trout last night went 4 for 5. Incredible.
Filling up that box score. Lots of crooked numbers after their names.
We still agree Mike Trout's the MVP.
Now, if you're talking about who's the best offensive player in baseball,
there would be debate about that.
Yeah, well, absolutely there would, but you wouldn't get the argument from Mike Trout camp that he's the best offensive player. I think he's the best all-around player this year in the American League by a long shot.
2-1. Also on the Tigers, they celebrated last night, and starter Max Scherzer injured his right ankle. He's going to miss tomorrow's start in Kansas City because of a twisted ankle. Problem with pro athletes when they celebrate is they get a little rough with one another.
Make it through a long 162 game major league season and get injured celebrating a victory. And it's happened quite often lately too. A lot of times very serious injuries, and other times just little nagging things day to day that cause a guy to miss a start or come out of the lineup for a day or two.
Jim Leland says it doesn't appear to be serious, but it's serious enough that he can't pitch tomorrow.
I know I've talked about this before, but it always amazed me in football when a guy would catch a kickoff or a punt at his own goal line and run through 11 defenders and change field and spin around and make it to the end zone untouched, and his own team tackles him.
Soriano makes a catch. Now let's look at the stolen base leaders in baseball. Not as many as you'd think. Nobody at this point with 50. Although Trout has a chance to get a couple here over the last 2 days. And they're brought to you by Taken 2, the movie. Two down. Here's Maxwell. Reached down an error his first time and half cut for a strike. Some other notes: players of the month announced in the American League for September. Adrian Beltre at .337 with 11 home runs. Chase Headley has won 2 in a row.
Headley
30 RBIs in September for Chase Headley, who will get some MVP consideration in the National League. De Jesus makes a catch and the inning is over. Bottom 4, still 2-0 Houston.
Start with a simple idea. Think, drink coffee, hatch a design, kill the design. Design something totally original. Do it again. That's good. Kick out the committees. Call in the engineers. Call in the car guys. Call in the nerds. Build a prototype. Mold it. Shape it. Love it. Give it 40 MPG. No, 41. Give it a huge display. Give it a starting price under 16 grand. Take it to the car shows. Get a celebrity endorser. He's perfect. I am? Yes, you are. Making a groundbreaking car. It's that easy.
We slaughter our brothers. We will not rest until his blood flows. Run. My turn. Taken 2. Rated PG-13.
The more you floor, the more you save. Buy one room of flooring, get all other rooms of product for only $50 each. At Luna, we work for you.
773-202 Luna.
Step into the black. A new darker, bolder spice rum from Captain Morgan.
Hey, we want to mention a great event coming up in South Florida, Parkland, Florida, near where Anthony Rizzo lives, on December 9th at Pine Trails Park. The inaugural walk-off for cancer, hosted by the Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation. Now, if you can't make it to South Florida, it would be a great place to go in December. Anthony told me that they are planning on an event in Chicago next year. Go to Rizzo44.com for more information. And as a lot of Cub fans know, Anthony was diagnosed with limited stage classical Hodgkin's lymphoma back in 2008. So as a cancer survivor, this is a very important thing to him. And the proceeds will benefit Live Strong and the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, part of the University of Miami Health System. It'll be a 5K walk coming up in December.
It's always good to see the young players get involved with charitable organizations, start their own foundations, use their name for really good purposes, not only here in Chicago, but in their home cities and states.
By the way, if you can't make it to Florida, you can donate and go to, again, Rizzo44.com to make a donation. The update on Scott Moore: he has irritation in the AC joint of his left shoulder. That's why he had to leave the game. I think it's a stretch as Rizzo strikes out to say Scott Moore's season's likely over, since the season ends about 20 hours from now. And he was probably in the best stretch of maybe his career offensively.
Been really swinging it well lately. It's too bad, but I'm sure that Scott Moore has shown enough this year with the Astros in the rebuilding phase that they're in right now to get a real good look going into the future.
Well, Alfonso Soriano doing something that's not easy to do. Let me go back to Andre Dawson in '87, winning the MVP in a last place club. Well, how about 30 homers and 100 RBIs on a team that loses 100 games? Does not happen very often. The last to do it, Ryan Zimmerman and Adam Dunn on the '09 Washington Nationals. Aramis Ramirez with the Pirates in 2001. And Ernie Banks in 1962. Interesting to know, isn't it, that the Nationals 3 years ago were a 100-loss team, and they have the best record in baseball.
Yeah, it can happen that quickly. Did she catch that ball?
Yeah, why not? We'll go with yeah. Sure. Makes for a good story. Lined into right for a base hit.
Yeah, most teams play some kind of a small shift on Soriano, but the Astros carry it to an extreme. They had 3 fielders on the left side of the infield. First baseman all by himself over there on the right side, and when Soriano saw a pitch away, figured he had a real good chance of getting it through that right side.
That's low to Castro. Slicing drive right center, and it'll get by and all the way to the wall. We'll see if Soriano can score. No, Pat Listash is going to hold him. It's a double for Castro. He's got a couple of them tonight.
Slicing drive toward that gap in right center field, exaggerated by the wind continuing to blow straight in from center. Boy, Barnes quit on that ball awfully early, leaving it up to Maxwell to try to make the sliding catch. Goes about 2/3 of the way down to second base. There really wasn't much future in sending him. I like the idea that Starlin Castro was watching the runner ahead of him. We've seen so many times this year where the trail runner has run right up the back of the guy at third base, but that time Castro with a quick peek to Pat Listash to see what was happening at third, and he slams on the brakes at second with his second double of the game.
Swing and a miss. 1-1.
With runners in scoring position this year, Bud Norris has held the opposition to a .230 batting average. It gets even better with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's held them to a .182 average. You look at a guy's numbers on a stat sheet, and they're middling. You know, they're okay. They're not great. They're not bad. But then you look at some of the deeper numbers, runners in scoring position, high leverage situations, and the guys that pitch well in those situations usually are going to be the best pitchers. They seem to be able to come up with their best stuff, their best location when they're in the most trouble.
Norris needs to do that to get out of this situation. Second and third, 1 out. Cubs trying to get on the board for the first time in the series. Only had 5 hits in the first 2 games. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Now Buena yelling at himself.
We got a very hittable pitch there. Fastball up and out over the plate in the low 90s. He just pulled his head off a little bit right at the very end, but that's frustrating for a hitter when you get a pitch you feel like you should have done some damage with and swing right through it.
Foul pop back to the seats. All right, Castillo, catcher at the plate. You'll appreciate this. You ever read The Onion?
On occasion, yeah.
Well, they have a story. Clearly, you're going to know that this is facetious coming from The Onion, but Dateline Miami. Marlins catcher John Buck was reportedly totally humiliated during the 5th inning of Tuesday's game against the Mets after completely forgetting the reason why he walked to the mound. Just give me a second here. It'll come to me, Buck was overheard saying before crossing his arms and staring silently into the distance for several moments. Something about the runner on second, maybe? I have no idea. Well, I'll let you know if I remember what it was, I guess. Team sources confirmed that Buck immediately recalled what he meant to say as soon as Hudson gave up a home run on an inside fastball on the next pitch. Well done.
Yeah, he's ready for his next career as a broadcaster. I've had a few of those mental cramps up here this year.
What is it that I was going to say?
Yeah, what was I going to say?
Yeah. 2-2.
Well, I do remember what I was going to say about Wellington Castillo. He's been pretty good with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. 7 for 16 on the season. Driven in 11 runs in those situations. Nice to pick up a couple right here.
Swing and a miss, and Norris gets out of it with no damage done. Cubs strand 2 in scoring position and still trail 2-0.
Save big money during the Menards Oktoberfest sale. Keep your garage, workshop, and more clean with ShopVac. This 6-horsepower, 18-gallon model has a built-in pump that easily connects to a hose for picking up and pumping water. Only $99. Help protect your family with Kidde. This 2-pack of smoke alarms includes batteries. This fire extinguisher works against flammable liquids and electrical equipment. Your choice, $4.99 each after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network, now covering 3,000 more 4G cities and towns than Verizon. AT&T, rethink possible.
You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah.
Tomorrow, don't miss Chicago Tribune Live on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in as the Tribune's Bob Poltman and Phil Hirsch, along with the Mix's Eric Ferguson, join host David Kaplan to discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Chicago Tribune Live, presented by Captain Morgan, tomorrow night at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Back here at Wrigley Field. Partner, it's great to see our good friend on the Tennessee Smokies, Mick Gillespie, the fine voice of the Smokies, and also broadcasts with me on the web, Cubs.com, during spring training. Stopping by Wrigley Field here to finish up the season. He's dedicated.
We like to call him Gilligan.
Why is that?
Well, we told the story earlier this summer when I was down in Knoxville watching the Smokies play on assignment earlier this year. Mick and I were supposed to go fishing one morning, and when I showed up at Mick's place and walked down the bank, there was just the front end. What's that, the bow of the boat?
You're asking me?
I don't know. The front of the boat is sticking straight up out of the water, and Mick is paddling his way back to shore.
Green broke his bat. Valbuena will throw. Gets by. Green's going to hold it first. With an infield hit.
Well, fortunately, everybody was okay, and apparently the water has receded to the point that they may actually be able to drag the boat back across the sand here momentarily. There's Mick. Well, I said it at the time, and I'll say it again. If you ever get an opportunity in the future to catch a Smokies game, boy, it's just an absolutely beautiful setting for baseball. You will enjoy yourself, I guarantee it.
Yeah, you can get the app too and listen to Mick during the season, even if you're not in Tennessee. Norris will square to bunt. Count almost hit him. You know, we talked to Mick a lot. He sees most of the Cubs' top prospects at the AA level every year.
Well, both guys who were honored as the pitcher and player of the year in the Cubs minor league system came from the Tennessee Smokies. They were here at Wrigley Field last night getting honored for their great seasons. Nick Struck, the pitcher, and Logan Watkins, an infielder.
Green at first, nobody out. Fifth inning, the Astros got 2 in the second. One on a Jason Castro homer, the other on a Tyler Green base hit. That's bunted foul. Let's answer tonight's AT&T mobility question. Who tied Carl Yastrzemski in homers this season? He won the Triple Crown, and I will give 7 bonus points for the home run total. It was Harmon Killebrew. Each hit 44 in 1967.
So we're operating on the honor system with the 7 bonus points. If you had 44 as the number, right?
Yep.
Okay. What do you get to purchase with your bonus points at the end of the season?
They just carry over until next season.
Carry over for infinity.
They accrue. Volstad will fire to Rizzo. Sack bunt for Norris. Some other interesting notes. Ben Sheets will make his final career appearance tomorrow for the Braves. So he's back, but he said he's going to hang it up after tomorrow. Jay Chapman up. The Seattle Mariners have announced they're going to shorten the fences in some areas at spacious Safeco Field. We will be there for interleague play next year. I guess at one point they're going to move it in 17 feet. That sounds like a lot. As Castro will throw out Altuve. A real tough park for righties, so a lot of the changes will be in the left field alley, left center. Green takes third without a throw.
And no attempt to throw the ball by Wellington Castillo, and no movement from the Cubs defenders on the left side. You've got a right-handed pull hitter at the plate. You don't want your defenders on that left side of the infield out of position. There you go.
Buena picks it up, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Houston.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now it's even more fuel efficient with available SkyActiv technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Test drive a Mazda 3 with SkyActiv technology today and see why it's the first 40 mpg highway sedan worth driving.
Okay, everyone, welcome to your tour of Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago Cubs since 1916, making it the National League's oldest ballpark. This is the Cubs dugout, of course, and down the line you'll see the famous Ivy and the famous Ferguson Jenkins, who's up a little early today. Take a Wrigley Field tour today. Who knows what you'll see?
Here come the... Hey, yo, I lost audio. What happened? What? Oh, it better not be. What's going on? It's time to put a stop to this. Yeah, gay?
The Coors Light Silver Bullet Pint. It's bigger, it's resealable, it's still the coldest.
They call me Hollywood. Here come the big show. Get out my booth.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan here with a Coors Light Cold Blast Sportsnet Central update. NHL owners and players met briefly today, but no progress was made towards bringing an end to the lockout. The White Sox first baseman Paul Konerko will have surgery on his left wrist on Thursday. Todd Hollandsworth joins me after the final out on the postgame show. Now back to Len and Bob at the friendly confines.
Thank you very much, David. Qdoba Mexican Grill, the official Mexican grill of the Cubs in Wrigley Field, would like to give you free chips and queso just for opting into their mobile club. Text Q1 to 50500 and you'll enjoy Qdoba's famous chips and queso.
8-9-1 for the Cubs against Bud Norris. Brett Jackson swings away. It's at foul. Soft floater out into right for a leadoff single.
A sinker strayed a little bit too far out over the plate. Brett Jackson able to get that soft liner into right field for a leadoff base hit, setting it up perfectly for Chris Volstad here to attempt his second sacrifice bunt in the game. Jackson led off with a walk back in the second inning. Volstad bunted him to second base.
Stay tuned later in the game for a sneak peek at Liam Neeson's new action film Taken 2.
I believe I will.
Interesting tweet from radio host Ben Mahler. I follow him on Twitter. $474,771,082 spent on payroll by the Phillies, Angels, and Red Sox to not make the playoffs.
Ooh.
How about that? Talked about it the other day about big blockbuster trades taking on veterans and big dollars and then not making it. It's a risk you take.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with spending money. You just better hope that the guys that you spend the money on come in and do what you expect them to do. And the whole time have the guys that are already in-house continue to play well. No guarantees.
Astros, by the way, with some defensive changes. Tyler Green is now playing second. Jed Lowry's at short. So Altuve is out.
Yeah, when Altuve hit that ground ball to Starlin Castro with one out in the fifth inning, it took him forever to get to first base. Altuve is normally very fast down that line, even on routine grounders, but Castro had all kinds of time to wait and get his throw across the diamond. Not sure what the issue is with Altuve, but he's been taken down.
Their second injury of the ball game. James Shields tonight. The Tampa Bay Rays, who are batting in the bottom of the ninth, trailing 1-0 to Baltimore. Shields went 9 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 15 strikeouts. Gave up a Chris Davis homer in the 4th inning. That was it. Jim Johnson now pitching for the Orioles. He's trying to get, I think it's his 51st save. Saves for Jim Johnson.
How about that? A lot of people didn't think the Orioles were going to win 50 games this season. What a year.
15 strikeouts for James Shields is a Rays record. Wallace able to flag it down. That ball was hit really hard by DeJesus. Wallace with a terrific play. 2 outs.
Second at bat in the ball game that David has hit the ball right on the nose. The first one a fly ball to the gap in left center that was run down, and this one a rocket right at Brett Wallace. Made a nice play that time on the backhand side.
On the plate, Jackson advanced to third. And here's Barney, who's grounded out twice.